All right, joining me once again here on the Matthew Filipowicz Show is my friend Mychal Denzel Smith. Mychal is a writer for The Nation magazine, which you can find at thenation.com, as well as Feministing, which you can find at feministing.com. You can also follow him on Twitter at Mychal Smith. Mychal, thank you so much for being on the show again.
Thanks for having me, Matt.
All right, so Mychal, The Nation recently partnered with Brave New Films on a short film series on our messed up criminal justice system. It's called Overcriminalized. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so last year, Brave New Films, The Nation, and AFL-CIO got together for a series on for-profit prisons. And this year, the series is about overcriminalization, which essentially looks at who is affected by the prisons that were featured in the series last year, and what happens when you have to continue to fill prisons in order to justify budgets, in order for private corporations to make money. What you end up doing is turning things into crimes that aren't crimes, right? They don't violate a social contract or anything. They don't actually harm anyone except maybe the people that are personally affected by it. Because we're talking about, in this particular series, we're talking about mental illness, homelessness, and drug dependency. And these are all social issues or health issues that are not going to be solved by locking people away in cages. But the solution that we have come up with in this country for those issues, which seems more like a maintenance of, the system's status quo, is to lock people up in prison and to criminalize behaviors and also social status, right? What homeless people need is housing. They need homes to live in. But
Right.
What we've done is, instead of setting up programs or having an efficient system whereby everyone will be able to afford a home, people who've fallen on those hard times and are out of work and then out of housing and find solace on the streets, if you can call it solace, find themselves out on the streets. We criminalize their existence out there, right? So it becomes illegal to lay down on park benches. It becomes illegal to panhandle, the only means of survival that some people have. And then issues like mental illness, whereby, people that are experiencing extreme mental health problems are not getting the help that they need. What we're doing is calling the police on them. Police respond, and more often than not, they're being handled very violently. They're 3 times, I forget the exact number, but they're more likely to be shot and killed by police officers than anyone else. And even when police officers simply arrest them, they're being shuttled off into prisons and then are more likely to spend more time in prison where they're not getting proper mental health care. So our budgets are being slashed for mental health care outside of the prison system, but then also the inside prisons. And so people are not getting the help that they need for issues like depression and anxiety and schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, where we've outsourced the care to prisons and police officers who are not equipped to do anything that is remotely helpful to anyone with a mental illness. And then also things like drug abuse, drug dependency. Like, people are again, this is a health issue, right? This is a national health issue whereby people are just using drugs. Even when it's not recreationally, I mean, people become dependent on drug use to survive and like make it through. Some people are self-medicating. Again, it ties into mental illness, but they're abusing drugs, and finding themselves not in clinics with, doctors and things that can help them get off of drugs and then talk through their issues and like get help and things. They find themselves being locked away in prisons because of our draconian drug laws. People that simply need support systems and second chances are not getting that. They're getting 3 strikes and being locked away in prison for exorbitant amounts of time, and these just aren't solving the problems that we think they're solving. All we're doing is feeding the prison system.